title.
15 years ago,
You got your shot at baseball. You got hurt.
Jimmy Morris put his dreams aside.
Coach?
Counselor, don't report that, Esther.
I never do.
But sometimes,
Hey, Coach, you want to throw? I'll throw a couple.
Yeah, Dad, bring the heat.
when you least expect it,
Oh, my God!
dreams come back to life.
I threw today.
How hard?
Pretty hard.
Anybody want to tell me how we lost that game?
We quit out there. I'm talking about having dreams. You don't have dreams, you don't have anything. You're the one who should be wanting something more. Last time I checked, scouts aren't looking for high school science teachers.
We start winning, you try out again.
You serious?
Yeah.
All right.
To the district champion, ours. Now it's your turn, Coach.
It started as a simple bet.
I promised to try out.
It was this thing to get the kids to start playing.
It became the most incredible true story
Rule number one is arms slow down when they get up.
in baseball history. From the studio that brought you Remember the Titans,
We've got an 8-year-old boy who waited all day in the rain to see his daddy try to do something that nobody believed he could do. Now, what are we telling him if you don't try now?
this spring,
You bringing some kids? Besides your own?
I'm here for me.
For you.
Jimmy, on, you're up. Just a second.
I'm not doing it.
Don't hurt yourself.
his dream was impossible.
You the old guy?
I'm the old guy.
How fast were you sold 15 years ago?
85, 86.
You just threw 98 miles an hour.
No.
But his journey was extraordinary.
To Coach Jimmy Morris, the man who taught us about wanting something more.
Dennis Quaid,
Do you know how many guys can throw the ball 98 miles an hour?
Not many.
the rookie.
Hi. See, I know what you're thinking right now. The resemblance is uncanny. It's amazing. I'm a little bit taller, but, other than that. One little thing before I get started, I want to let you all know that last year I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, so if I start talking too fast or if I skip over something, throw something at me. I'll wake up. Now, when you have a movie made about yourself and you write a book, you're forced to look at yourself and some of the decisions you've made, of course, the time you've been on Earth. And for me, that book was the hardest thing I've ever done. Because when you look at those decisions, and I know all our decisions make us who we are, that's tough. Somebody said, if you had the chance to do it all over again, would you do it? No. But here's the deal. If all you guys think this is about baseball, let me explain something. When the movie came out in 2002, President Bush invited us to the White House. Now, just on a little side note before I get started with that story, you guys get rid of pest, right? I have a small place in Washington, D.C. that I would like y'all to come spray. But when President Bush invited my son and I out to the White House to view the movie, it was amazing. My son got to meet the president. He actually got to talk to him more than I did. And Mrs. Bush was there, fantastic people, and I know he had some hard decisions to make, and I'm not going to judge him because I'm not in that position. But he viewed the movie and he watched it, and after the movie, he looks down at my 10-year-old son. He said, Hunter, now this is the president who loves baseball, owned a baseball team. Looks down and says, Hunter, you going to be a ball player like your daddy? My son looks up at the president and he goes, no, sir, baseball sucks. When you preach honesty, you get it. And all I could think was at least he said, sir. But But there are two types of people I want to talk about today. And we encounter these people every day, you guys especially. Because people are going to be happy or unhappy with whatever it is you do, and there's no changing their mind. One of my best friends is my preacher, and one day we were at lunch and his phone kept going off. And so he let me listen to the messages, which I don't know if it's ethical or not, but this was on a Monday morning that we had gone to lunch. It was too hot. It was too cold. The sermon was too long. The sermon was too short. The songs were too old. The songs were too new. On and on of people complaining about stuff. That gets to me. Why can't we be happy with what we have? The first group of people I'm going to talk about, we encounter these people every day. They're called customers. I call these people dream killers. Not really, because I don't do what you do, so. But you encounter people who are not going to be happy with anything you do. These are the people who want to see you fail, either because they've tried to do something in their lives and they failed at it, or they were too afraid to try. And so if they feel bad, they want to pull everybody else down where they are. These are the people you need to stay away from. And I know for you that's hard because you got to make everybody happy. So when you go into somebody's home and they don't want to be very nice, all you do is smile. You treat them like they are gold. So when you walk out of that house and you've treated that home, even though you weren't treated the best, you can still feel good because you know you did the best you absolutely could. Now, dream killers come in all shapes and forms. They can be family members. They can be people who are supposed to be in positions to help you. They can be people who call themselves your friends. First dream killer in my life, you've seen the movie, you know my dad and I didn't get along very well. That is Disney's G-rated version of our relationship. My dad had great things to say to me as a kid. You're not smart enough, you're not good enough, why do you even try? You'll never make it, you're stupid. His favorite punchline with my mom that I heard for 18 years when he got really mad, because when you're married a long time, you know those buttons, man. His favorite line, usually with me in hearing distance, was if it wasn't for that blank blank in the other room, we wouldn't even be married. And when you're a kid, you can't decipher that I had nothing to do with what they did. And so you start to think, wow, I guess it was my fault. His favorite saying to me as a child is, children are to be seen and not heard. I heard that every single day of my life. So as a kid, I didn't talk. I was naturally shy, but him and self-preservation made me a quiet kid. In between the white lines of a baseball field was where I could let loose, or a football field or a basketball court. I love sports because I could tune that voice out for a little bit. Children are to be seen and not heard. Well, now I'm 50 and I make a living talking. So after every speech, I call my dad and I say, guess how many people I talked to today?